Hi, I'm John Anderson with Cry for Zion. The Temple Mount in Jerusalem is the holiest place in the world for Jews. Jewish history here goes back 4,000 years to the time of Abraham and on to King David, Solomon, Herod, and continues today. But how did Islam get involved with the Temple Mount, a Jewish holy site? When you look at the Temple Mount today, the biggest mistake people make is to think that the Golden Dome is the Al-Aqsa Mosque. That is a monument, not a mosque. The Al-Aqsa Mosque is the Black Dome to the south. Let's back up a couple of thousand years to when the Romans destroyed the Second Jewish Temple in the year 70 CE. The Jews returned as often as possible and repeatedly tried to rebuild the temple, but the Roman Empire, which eventually morphed into a Christian empire, kept a firm hand over Jerusalem, and the Mount remained a ruin. In the year 637, armies from the new religion of Islam in Arabia invaded the whole region and conquered Jerusalem from the Christian Byzantines, subjecting all infidels to the jizya poll tax. The two holiest cities in Islam are, of course, Mecca and Medina. Over time, two Muslim dynasties began fighting for control, one in Medina and one in Damascus. In the year 691, the Caliph in Damascus was still attacking the Christian Byzantines in the west, and even though Jerusalem was ruled by Islam, it was still a mostly Christian and Jewish city and included the most important church in Christendom. To spite the Christians and to magnify a holy tourist site closer to Damascus, the Caliph built the famous Dome of the Rock over the site of the Jewish temple, not as a mosque, but as a Muslim monument, with anti-Christian slogans on it. In 715, his son followed the same foreign policy. He took a dome from a church in Lebanon and with it built the famous Al-Aqsa Mosque on the southern edge of the mount, facing Mecca. The caliphate soon moved to Baghdad in Iraq, and Jerusalem became relatively unimportant in Islam. It remained a sort of backwater town in Islam until modern times, except for the brief period when the Crusaders took control of Jerusalem, and later when Suleiman the Great rebuilt its walls. Long after Muhammad died, Muslims began tying in Jerusalem into Muslim tradition by connecting it with one mysterious verse in the Quran of Muhammad's journey to the further mosque, the Al-Aqsa. This became a hot debate in Islam, and there are famous Muslim scholars who held that Muhammad's journey was not to Jerusalem. For example, the early Muslim scholar Jafar al-Sadiq responded to the claim that the further mosque was in Jerusalem by saying that even the Mosque of Kufa was superior to the Mosque of Jerusalem. In the 14th century, Ibn Taymiyyah, whose religious opinions are known for influencing such hardliners as Al-Qaeda, stated bluntly, "In Jerusalem, there is not a place one calls sacred," and the same holds true for the tombs of Hebron. The night journey is not mentioned in any of the inscriptions on the Dome of the Rock, nor was the Al-Aqsa Mosque built when Muhammad was alive. Nonetheless, this is how Al-Aqsa became the third holiest site in some of Islam, after Mecca and Medina. The Temple Mount remains the #1 holy site in Judaism and all of biblical history. I'm John Anderson with Cry for Zion. For more information, visit cryforzion.com. Click below to subscribe.